through re-listening to the preached word. You listened before, then you listened again. This is the place of the CDs, the DVDs, and so forth. In Psalm 62 verse 11, it said, once God has spoken once. Twice have I heard this. I was in the service when it was preached, but I went back home to hear it again. How many of you have ever picked up a CD, a message, a DVD, or something, and you went back home and you listened to it, and you were in that service, but you heard something in the message that you didn't hear in the church? You heard something, you heard a phrase, you heard a line, you heard something completely you never heard in the church. I've listened to some of my own messages before, and I was amazed at the weight of words that came, and wondered even when certain of them came. In Proverbs chapter 5 verse 11, Solomon was narrating the ordeal of the man who will not re-listen. He said, and thou mourn at last, when thy flesh and thy body are consumed, and say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to them that instructed me. They gave you instruction before, but you refused to receive the instruction back. He said that cost certain things for someone. Now look at Isaiah chapter 30 verse 20 and 21. Isaiah chapter 30 and in verse 20 and in verse 21. He said, and though the Lord give thee the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers, and thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way, walk in it, when you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left. Meaning is, whatever happens in your life, don't be far from the voice of your teachers. Not just the voice as it is now, but in your iPod and iPad. Just be connected to continuous flow of instruction. Now there are 2 or 3 things that this will do for you. The importance of re-listening. Number 1, contact with the voice, or rather continual contact with the voice of one's teacher enhances the transference of spirit, impartation, the transference. The spirit of the teacher, the spirit of the preacher, the spirit of the pastor flows in the voice of that pastor. And the spirit entered as he spake. Ezekiel chapter 2 and in verse 2. The words I speak to you, they are spirit and they are life. God made us in his image. If the spirit of God flows through the speakings of God, the spirit that is a man carries flows through the speakings of his voice. I heard the story of a young man. He was a medical student in university in those days, and he was on fire the same way we were in our days. And he kept on listening to Kenneth Hagin's message. This is in the 80s. He said he listened to it over and over and over. And one night, this was tape cassette.